Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here to present my annual State of the City address to the Guelph Chamber of Commerce. I'd very much like to thank the sponsor, Bell Canada, for this morning's event as well. I wanted to tell you that this event, which has been an annual event with the Chamber for a number of years now, has grown beyond this day. And because of the success of this event, this year I'll probably be giving a State of the City address to about 7 or 8 other organizations over the next 3 months. So there's a lot of interest in hearing it. And that will include a group of city employees as well. So I wanted to thank you for starting a good idea spreads in the community. But in keeping with the history and the roots of this particular event, you're going to hear it first here. So I'm going to focus on 3 themes today. The first, excellence in municipal governments, what principles are driving us, and how are we delivering on the plan for the community. I will be drawing your attention to the placemat in front of you, making a difference, priorities, progress, and plans. Then I'll talk about some financial and economic indicators for the city and the community. How is the city of Guelph stacking up with some of our other communities with respect to taxation and jobs? And then third, I'll talk about our local economy. I'll outline 3 initiatives for economic development that will help position our city to prosper through the current global economic challenges and then beyond that. So first, excellence in municipal governance. I've been involved with municipal politics on and off for 18 years now. And during that time, I've had many people tell me that we should be running City Hall more like a business. And while I don't agree that business and local democracies are identical, citizens aren't consumers, I do feel that there's a lot of lessons that we can take from the business sector. Dare I say, though, that if any of you had to run your businesses with a public, transparent process, that many of you wouldn't make it through the first quarter, because that's quite challenging. However, one of the lessons I think that we can take from the business sector is the principle-based approach to governance that has gained prominence in the corporate world after some of the corporate scandals that we've heard of in the past, like Enron and Nortel. I've had the extreme privilege, because of my role at Guelph Hydro, to be enrolled in the Directors College, which at the DeGroote School of Business at McMaster University. And the college trains, certifies directors to serve on publicly traded boards. The college, however, attracts people from across the public sector, the nonprofit sector, and the private sector because of the broad application of the curriculum. And the program promotes a principle-based framework for governance with 6 principles which are outlined here today. Those principles, I think, have absolute relevance to the public sector. And I think we can measure our success and our performance as a corporation in the municipal world by how well we're responding to these 6 principles. And so, as everyone who is here from Guelph Hydro knows, that good governance is about increasing performance. And so I'd like to speak to these principles and how we're applying them at the City Hall. So the first one, leadership and stewardship. Ensuring strategic direction and planning for succession and renewal in the organization, and overseeing risk and implementation and control. Our strategic direction has been well established and well communicated in the community through our strategic plan. And so I want to highlight some of the successes in delivering on that plan over the last 2 years. We're at midterm in our term, and where we're going in the future. But before doing that, I just want to take a quick diversion. I want to talk about the importance of setting priorities. We recently conducted a random telephone survey in the community, and 96% of residents rated the quality of life in Guelph as very good or good. There are many things that contribute to that quality of life. Some of them are within our control as a municipal government, and some of them are out there in the community, in the business community, in the nonprofit sector, people helping each other. I think a big part of that quality of life that is within our control is just the simple, basic functioning of the city day in and day out. And this work is often overlooked and undervalued. I showed this graphic last year. During our strategic planning and priority setting exercise, we identified that 80 to 90% of the resources that we have at the city, the people and the funding, goes to that day-to-day service delivery and management of assets, which only leaves 10 to 20% for the projects we spend most of our time talking about. So the Guelph Innovation District or the Baker Street parking redevelopment. Our senior management team refers to that work as turning the crank. And so I wanted to just take a little moment to learn a little bit more about what is turning the crank. And so to look at one department, operations. And so those are all the sort of functions that the operations department is responsible for. 13 broad areas from fleet management, snow removal, splash pads, and wading pools. Now, we don't obviously have time to go through all of those areas, so I'm going to highlight on the 3 areas that are put up there in the purple. So first, roads, boulevards, and sidewalks. Over 500 kilometers of road are inspected every 2 weeks. Last winter, there were 21 snowfalls. It was a big winter. 10 of them required a full city plow out. That took over 19,000 hours of staff time to do that work, and almost 155,000 kilometers traveled in doing that work. There are also almost 700 kilometers of sidewalk that have to be maintained and cleared. 210 boulevards, medians, ditches are also maintained. On the storm and sewer system front, there's 102 inlets and outlets that are cleaned monthly in the winter and twice a month in the summer, and 467 sewer blocks addressed in 2007. That's more than one a day, and that contributes to our quality of life, dealing with those effectively. Parkland and Greenway maintenance, obviously our parks, if you ask people about what's part of their quality of life in the community, the first thing that they will say is our park system. We have 246 parks. There's a lot of them, 550 acres. You can see the number of trails that we have. We also have an incredible number of events that are happening in those parks. 210 special events, more than 100 sports tournaments, all of those requiring our staff working with those people to help facilitate those happening. So the message that I wanted to leave with you, just taking this little diversion off our strategic plan, is we need to remember the resources that are going into maintaining that quality of life. And that priority setting is going to be essential if we're going to get anything done, because there are only so many resources to go around. So coming back to the strategic plan and its role in helping us identify those priorities and moving forward with them. So I'll draw your attention quickly to the placemat in front of you. Making differences, priorities, progress, and plans. Now you're welcome to take the placemat home with you, and if you have messed it up, we have clean ones that you can take with you. Most of the events that I do this at are either breakfasts or lunches, so I thought, well, there you go. I have a placemat that we can take to the events. Down the left column, you'll see the 6 goals of our strategic plan. So they're up here, running from urban design and sustainable growth down to the natural environment. You'll see that it's organized to demonstrate our priorities for the term, so across the entire placemat, our progress in the first 2 years, and our plans for the remaining 2 years. There's always so much going on. For me to have gone through all of that in this presentation would have been lengthy and probably not the most compelling way to communicate that information. So please take the time to take a look at the variety of things that have been implemented and where we're going on it. It's very important to us because our principles drive the priorities that you see in there, and those priorities drive our progress and our performance. So through my presentation, I will highlight certain aspects that are on that placemat to describe some of our success over the last couple of years. The first area that I will talk about is urban design and sustainable